Afternoon to you and a warm welcome to a history-making occasion, the first Scott Sport televised Sunday Cup final. Rangers against Celtic, of course, in the Scottish League Cup, the first Cup final of 1984. Well, joining me here in the studio this afternoon is Derek Johnston, who knows all about the special Hampden atmosphere. Derek, just before we go over to the ground, a quick comment about how you think the game will go.
It'll be a hard game as usual. There won't be a lot of football played. It'll be a tough battle. I think Celtic will definitely start favourites, but Rangers might have something up their sleeve.
You think there's a possibility of extra time today, Derek?
There could be. There could be a lack of goals today. It may just go the whole way.
How significant is the loss of Redford and Pritz going to be to Rangers today?
Well, it's 2/3 of his midfield, so obviously it is a big thing for Jock Wallace. But I think the two people he's brought in, they should fill the space adequately.
And the returning, of course, of Davy Provan to the big time after a while out. He's obviously a player he's going to have to watch.
I don't know if he's fully fit. I think he's only played 2 games since his injury, so I think Celtic will be wanting a lot out of him today.
Right, well, he looked pretty sharp last week in the cup tie that we covered, so let's see how it all works out. That was that match at Mother, of course, the league game. Let's go over now to Hampden Park. Your commentator for the match will be Jock Brown, with summaries from Billy McNeil. Good afternoon, Jock, and good luck with your commentary.
Good afternoon, Arthur, and thank you. And the conditions here are absolutely perfect for the match this afternoon. The teams are out in the field. A crowd perhaps in the region of 50 to 60,000 rather than the 74,600 capacity, but still in tremendous voice and the atmosphere quite superb. The Rangers team has been confirmed. They've had problems, obviously, and they have brought in Craig Patterson. John McDonald is up front, and I think we can take it from that line-up that we'll see a midfield of Russell, McPherson and McCoist, with Cooper, McDonald and Clark up front. And a big opportunity for Craig Patterson to make an impression for Rangers. He's had a lot of problems through injury, and he has the threat, if you like, of Colin McAdam waiting on the substitutes bench. Celtic are as expected. That's their full-strength side for the moment. And again, their midfield will be key factors, I think, in the match. McStay, Burns and McLeod will be obviously very important indeed the way the match unfolds. And perhaps the most important individual of all in the Celtic cause this afternoon may be Davy Provan, who was injured on the 5th of November in the league match between the clubs, which we covered. Now playing his 3rd match back after injury, and hoping among the Celtic fans, of course, that he is fully restored to fitness. So John McDonald back up front for Rangers. He hasn't had much of a look in since Jock Wallace arrived back in November, although he has managed to find the net 7 times this season for Rangers. And the referee, Mr. Bob Valentine from Dundee, refereeing his 2nd League Cup final. The first was at Dens Park, you may recall, Dundee against Dundee United, a very historic occasion when a Dundee referee handled the match. Very highly regarded indeed, this man, in FIFA terms, and handling his 3rd Hampden final. All 3 of them have been Celtic against Rangers. The Cup final 1977, the Driver Cup final of 1979. Very experienced official indeed. So joining me, I'm happy to say, in the comedy position this afternoon is the Manchester City manager, Billy McNeil, who of course has had many, many occasions at Hampden Cup finals in Celtic colours. Billy, welcome back to Glasgow. You're looking forward to the match?
Yes, thanks very much, Jock. Yes, I am indeed looking forward to the match. I think there's a flavour about Old Firm games, and particularly Old Firm Cup finals that are hard to equal anywhere. And I think this one is going to live up to its expectations. I've chosen Celtic as favourites simply because they've got a settled team, and I think the more skillful team. But I know only too well that in cup finals, and particularly Old Firm Cup finals, starting favourites mean nothing at the end of the day.
So a quick look there at Billy McNeil's successor, David Hay, in the Celtic dugout, looking very pensive indeed. Jock Wallace looking remarkably relaxed when he came out with the Rangers players, but this is a very important match indeed for Rangers. The Celtic start the match, and I'm certain the opening stages are liable to be frantic. A lot of competitive play, particularly the midfield area, as both sides try to establish some kind of pattern. Here's John McDonald, and the fierce challenge came from Roy Aitken. McPherson helping out. Here's Dave McPherson, and the flag is up on the near side against McPherson. That's some brisk play over the far side involving Dave McPherson and John McDonald, and Rangers clearly making their presence felt in the early stages. Well, this is the 9th League Cup final between the Old Firm, and the score at the moment is 4 wins apiece, so this would be the decider at this stage in football history. There's Peter McCloy making his first touch of the ball. The oldest player in the field, I'm sure you'll forgive me for saying that, replacing the cup-tied Nicky Walker. Jimmy Nicholl breaking back to McCoist, to Sandy Clark being hustled from the back by McAdam. Rangers get the free kick, really quickly taken by David Cooper. Boyakin coming across in very determined fashion, and Boyakin clearly unhappy that the referee allowed the free kick to be taken so quickly from a position which he didn't think was accurate. The first corner kick of the match. Cooper looking for Davy Provan to be waved a full 10 yards back. Out by McLeod, down towards McCoist, making the first Celtic player to attack the ball. Dawson forced the player out because Frank McGarvey cut off the possible pass back to McCloy. So David Hay giving little away with his facial expression at the moment. McClellan in quickly on McGarvey. Tense opening moments for Top Wolves. McGarvey now trying to find room to turn away from McClellan, then he's been given the free kick. Now this is promising for Celtic. David Provan can be very accurate from this position. He's waiting for Aiken and McAdam to arrive in the box. McStay heading it back. It's McCoist defending. And the free kick has been given for some pushing in the box by Frank McGarvey. Another hectic opening, Billy.
Yeah, it's a typical opening that you come to expect from Old Firm matches. I always find it in the early stage a lot of anxiety, a little bit of nervousness, and I think that the team that settles first is often the team that at the end of the day wins the match. But Rangers made an interesting start when they made a good break and unfortunately ruined by McPherson going offside. But the game has sort of evened out since then, Doc.
The referee Bob Valentine clearly a very important figure out there at the moment. A lot of jangled nerves. And the player playing it out, and Jimmy Nicholl with the throw for Rangers. Free kick against Tom McAdam. So Dave McPherson has added his height to the attack, just beyond Sandy Clark. Bonner has come a long way out. That'll certainly inspire some confidence among his defenders. Good piece of handling early on. McClellan's header. Mark Freed playing it down. Russell in quickly on Tommy Burns. Now Cooper. And given very little room to work. Brought down by Martin McLeod. McLeod unhappy about the decision, but referee Valentine very close to the play. So you see Cooper trying to go beyond Martin McLeod, and that's what gave rise to the free kick. Donald lucky to get the ball at the second attempt after the dummy intended for Jimmy Nicholl. Touched on by Clark to McPherson, and Reid with a pass back. Paul McStay has gone very deep for Celtic. Nicholl coming across to join the central defence. McGrain, right back by McClare to Provan. McStay to Mark Reid. McGarvey's in between the two defenders. Well, could have held the ball, I think. He had a bit more space than perhaps he realised. But he certainly did well turning into this gap. Head flick on came from McClair. McGarvey got between Nicholl and Patterson, and the first time shot well wide. Burns forcing it forward. Patterson making sure he kept the header well wide because McGarvey wasn't far away from him. Burns with the header, and that should be comfortable enough for Craig Patterson. Well, a clumsy touch in the ball, giving Celtic the throw. Interesting midfield battle emerging with McCoist in the middle of the field for Rangers against McLeod, and McPherson marking Paul McStay. Russell's clearance, John McDonald supported by McPherson on the left. Involuntary dummy that, I think, from Russell, but it found Davy Cooper. That's good running from McCoist, a chance for Rangers. Sandy Clark missed it, and McDonald's shot is blocked, but what a great opportunity that was for Rangers. Created by the running of Ali McCoist. And McGarvey tackled instantly by Patterson. Dawson's header back to McCloy. That was a superb piece of action in the Celtic half, which almost gave Rangers the lead. It was the running here from Ali McCoist onto that Russell pass. The slanted ball across the face of the goal. Clark really should have scored, and McDonald's shot was blocked. McGarvey took his eye off the ball for a second. That's beautiful control from Davy Cooper. Now Russell running into the immovable object in the form of Roy Aitken. Damage for Russell, and Roy Aitken very upset indeed about the free kick being given. Something like running into a wall, I would suggest, that run from Russell straight into Aitken.
Yeah, that was an interesting chance that Rangers missed, Jock, because I don't think that in Old Firm games you get all that many chances. But Sandy Clark had a definite clear chance at goal here and unfortunately missed it. Well, unfortunately for Rangers, that is, of course.
Well, Robert Russell taking some time to recover. He clearly is in some difficulty.
It's an interesting one, Jock. You mentioned earlier on about a midfield battle. I mean, I would think that's somewhere where the game is going to, the authority for the game is going to be established. At the moment, Rangers seem to have a bit more fluency there. Paul McStay really hasn't exerted his presence on the game, nor Tommy Burns or Murdo McLeod as yet. And Rangers have got a little bit of freedom there, and they've started to create a chance or two.
Rangers substitute Hugh Burns warming up in case Russell isn't fit to continue, but he's on the field for the moment as Cooper plays in the free kick. Patterson at the far post, comes off Tom McAdam, and that's a Rangers corner kick. And Patterson stays in the box. John McClelland is arriving now to join him. Played in by McCoist in the near post. Aitken challenging. Very untidy at the edge of that Celtic box. And a high challenge by Craig Patterson. And Tom McAdam has been penalised. And that gives the Celtic defence some respite. And really I think the opening 10 minutes or so have been more encouraging to the Rangers supporters than to the Celtic.
Well, as often happens in these games, Jock, that the underdogs tend to say this is the chance for glory, but Rangers certainly have looked a bit more decisive in midfield, and that was a very, very good forward pass to McCoist, and as I say, Sandy Clark may live to regret the chance that he missed there. But Celtic really haven't established themselves as a force in midfield as yet, but I would think that that's something that will happen, because McStay for me is perhaps outstanding young talent in the country today.
So referee Bob Valentine perhaps being quite happy to have a couple of interruptions there to calm things down. Treatment initially for Robert Russell, then for Tom McAdam. And that might take a little bit of the heat out of the proceedings. McGrain now. McAdam is clearly all right. Looking for McGarvey. Here's McClare. Patterson's tackle is good enough as McStay came through. And here's John McDonald. Clark playing it to the near side for Cooper. What a dreadful late tackle by Mark Reid on Davy Cooper. Now Cooper really has taken a very heavy knock, and Mark Reid will undoubtedly be booked. See this again. Cooper clearly had played the ball away before Mark Reid arrived. Reid totally committed to the tackle, and there is the damage inflicted on Davy Cooper.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that he took Davy Cooper there. You know, whether that was his sole intention or not, Jock, I don't know, but he certainly went in hard, and he caught him late.
So the first booking of the match for young Mark Reid. Davy Cooper appears to be moving freely enough as he goes away. So a bruise rather than anything more serious, I think. A layoff from John McDonald, but Cooper had been hanging back. Here's Frank McGarvey. Touched away from McCoist by Russell. The player supported by McAdam. They made the forward run. McClelland coming across to cover. And no qualms about playing the ball out to safety. The Rangers skipper settling in with Craig Patterson this afternoon. He's played with Dave McPherson and Colin McAdam for lengthy spells. Challenge from Dawson on Provan. Dawson clearly thinks he should have had the throw. Dawson flinging a ball against Davy Provan for Rangers goal kick. Well, there can be no questioning the commitment shown on both sides. I think the early indications are that Rangers are looking very determined indeed to overcome the handicaps they have in terms of team selection. They haven't got Nicky Walker or Bobby Williamson, and then last week lost Ian Redford and Robert Pritz after they were ordered off against Dundee in the Scottish Cup quarter-final replay. Here's Russell. Neat piece of play, taking over again from McPherson. Clark and McDonald through the middle. Cooper coming for a short pass, but it's McPherson. And the first time pass wasn't accurate enough, nor was the pass back from Danny McGrain. But the pressure stays on the Celtic defence. So the tall men to the back go up to join Dave McPherson there. That's John McClellan and Craig Patterson. Rangers posing quite a potent threat in the penalty box for corner kicks. Here's Patterson. Done goalwards by John McClellan, but not troubling Pat Bonner in the Celtic goal.
The game really has settled down very much in Rangers' favour at this stage, Jock. They look more assured on the ball, and they seem an awful lot more creative in midfield. Celtic's marking at the back has been a bit slack as well, and Rangers seem to be getting themselves into open positions an awful lot easier than they should be.
50 minutes gone, Rangers 0, Celtic 0. No lack of action in this League Cup final. There's McGarvey now in behind McClelland. Looking for McClare inside. That's certainly been a probable partnership this season for Celtic. And Frank McGarvey, scorer of 17 goals for Celtic this season. McAdam with Sandy Clark. McGarvey again picking up the loose ball. McLeod did well to get away from Ali McCoist. Reid coming up on the left flank, going inside Cooper, and McPherson back helping in defence. The calm pass back to Peter McLeod. So Cooper has gone very deep for Rangers to win possession. The long ball is released McDonald. Aiken was very sure of himself with that headed pass back because Sandy Clark wasn't far away. Here's Danny McGrain for Celtic. McLeod inside. Rangers marking is very tight indeed. Only John McDonald been left up front. Cloven running into the tackle from Craig Patterson. So Celtic's throw. Cloven again trying to take on Ali Dawson. Given away rather to McCoist. Adam showing good touch on the ball. There's Buddy McLeod. And Sandy Clark seeing nothing on inside, playing the long ball back to McCloy. And that allows Rangers to set up an attack on the right. Jimmy Nicholl. There's Barnes. Well taken by McClear. Patterson's tackle, very firm indeed. And Celtic still haven't been able to get real return for the talent undoubtedly possessed by McStay and Burns.
Yeah, at the moment it certainly has gone Rangers' favour midfield. That the big lad David Patterson is obviously going to stick a bit close to Paul McStay when Celtic are in possession, and he's making life difficult for him there.
Yes, Dave McPherson has settled well for Rangers, showing his versatility, switching from central defence to midfield. Nicholl's header out. McPherson looking for Sandy Clark. The referee having a word with Danny McCoist. There your picture for the challenge in Tommy Burns, which didn't connect, but which was perhaps a shade reckless. The flag is up on the far side against Frank McGarvey. The referee spotting the linesman's flag a little late. Certainly hasn't been an easy game for Bob Valentine so far. The latest news from Wembley in the Milk Cup final: Liverpool 0, Everton 0. Appeared to be handball by McDonald, but he got away with it on the blind side of the referee. Aiken tidying up at the back. Match now appears to be settling down to something of a midfield battle. Rangers certainly willing to bring front men back whenever they lose possession. Here's Paul McStay now for Celtic. Good interception that from Patterson. Drain to McStay. The tackle from McClellan was a good one, but McStay very good in that turning situation around the edge of the box. Beginning to assert himself now, Paul McStay. Very important player indeed for Celtic. Coleman with the corner. Aiken at the near post. McLaren at the far post. Here's Roddy McLeod. Kyram waiting for it and doing a bit of wrestling with Dave McPherson. Rangers get the free kick.
It's easy to see the influence that Paul McStay has on this Celtic side, Jock, because over the last 3 or 4 minutes there he's got hold of the ball, he started to look decisive, and he's made some good creative and forward runs. He's a very, very important cog. It's amazing to think that a 19-year-old can be so important to a team, but he assumes the authority of a very experienced player and really will dictate play if he gets the chance.
The 20 minutes gone, still no scoring, and the heated opening has calmed down somewhat. Both sides struggle to establish playing pattern. Ali McCoist showing his determination in that central midfield role again with a good tackle. Bowen switching across to the Celtic left. Tackle was by John McClelland. Nicol forcing the ball forward. There's Sandy Clark. Pass towards Cooper was too short, and Celtic have possession again. This is Tommy Burns. McGarvey couldn't control it. Nicol thumped it away, but only as far as McLeod. Burns was leaning into Robert Russell to some extent, but the Rangers player is penalised. So Celtic's free kick. Tom McAdam in two minds of whether to go forward. Has decided not to. Towards McGarvey. No Provan. McGarvey again. Crowded penalty box. Rangers so many players back. One of them is Dave McPherson. McLeod back to Burns. Celtic still probing for an opening from that midfield area. Now it's McStay's turn. Looking for the return pass from Provan. Remarkably tight though around the edge of the Rangers box. They pull everyone back whenever they lose possession, funneling back to the edge of that box to fill all the gaps. Grange challenge, winning the ball from McStay. Here's McClear. Behind McGarvey. And pushing volley pass back by Russell. The first time pass is too powerful for McPherson. Celtic coming much more into the play now. Rangers unquestionably had the better of the opening exchanges, but Celtic midfield beginning to operate to more effect. But this is Russell for Rangers with lots of room to work in. That's towards Sandy Clark. Now McDonald. Down he goes, the challenge from Tom McAdam. And I wonder if John McDonald's reputation for diving in the box, whether it be justified or not, worked against him on that occasion. Certainly did appear to be caught by McAdam, although it would have been a very soft award, I think. But referee Valentine in the correct position, not interested. What do you make of that one, Billy? Was that worthy of a penalty kick?
Well, I think the great temptation with John McDonald is to dismiss it because he dived, but he certainly looked to be in a reasonable scoring position. That it's one of these things, Jock. I think were I the Rangers manager, I'd be looking for a foul, whereas Celtic's manager, I'd probably argue against it.
And the most important verdict came from referee Bob Valentine. Nichols' header keeping the ball in play. Burns and Cooper tangling. Cooper showing a flash of temper as the ball breaks out. Rangers have got the free kick. Still no sign of anxiety in the Rangers dugout at any rate. Top Wallace looking calm enough. A few words of instruction. Nichols' free kick. Aiken getting to it in front of McDonald. That's a Celtic throw. A long leg of John McClelland coming in. Celtic dugout. David Hay and Frank Connor shouting some instructions onto the field. I doubt if it can be heard in this bedlam. That'll be a Celtic throw. McGarvey. McClelland, a very difficult defender to go past in these tight situations. Telescopic legs. Robin back to Reid. Well, he had Brian McClare falling for the ball at the far corner of the box, but Reid trying to add to the half a dozen goals he scored this season for Celtic. Sandy Clark now getting the instructions in the dugout. off the head of Davy Cooper. McGarvey again the target, always willing to take the ball in very tight situations with the defender close behind him. Now Tommy Burns. Robin. McLeod now to Reid. Nichols challenge. Clark to McCoist. Screened it well from McStay. And now Russell takes over. Clark has taken up good position. McPherson on his left. McDonald through the middle. McPherson's the target, and he misjudged the forward run. He's offside. That's a little bit of an experience on the part of Dave McPherson. We've got offside a couple of times out there on the left in promising situations. Russell using Nicol behind. Clark's control was good enough with McKenna behind him, and Davy Provan coming in with a tackle to give Rangers the throw. Aiken now trying to get away from Clark. Here's Tommy Burns. Burns looking for a free kick, but not getting it. And Aiken again tidying up round the back for Celtic. Here's Provan. Sidestepping Jimmy Nicol. And Ali McCoist making another good intrusion defensively for Rangers. He's shown lots of commitments this afternoon, Ali McCoist, both in defence and going forward. Mark Reid. Burns is off on a run through the inside left position. Dawson all the way across. Nichols' clearance picked up by McLeod. And once again, Ali McCoist with the tackle. McGarvey's away from McClellan this time. And a good defensive header from Craig Patterson. All the referee has given a goal kick, which means that Brian McClare got the last touch. Patterson certainly challenged well for this one. And error of judgment here from John McClellan, allowing McGarvey to turn and send across the ball towards Brian McClare, but Patterson's challenged it enough. Gig against Mark Reid for pushing into the back of Davy Cooper.
The game at this moment, Jock, really needs a spark of life. That really we've only seen little bits of skillful play when Bobby Russell for Rangers and Paul McStay for Celtic have been able to create something. But the game is really stagnated at the moment, and we're really looking for some individual who's going to be able to come and lift the whole game.
Certainly the enthusiasm of the supporters not dampened, as you can hear all around us. Both sets of supporters trying to encourage their favourites, and Sandy Clark now in trouble for that high late challenge on Roy Aiken. The Celtic players expressing their disquiet to Sandy Clark in their own particular way, and now referee Bob Valentine will take action. So here's the challenge which caused the trouble, a header away, and a very high late challenge by Sandy Clark. Thoroughly reckless and thoroughly meriting the booking which is being administered now by Bob Valentine. So half an hour gone, still no scoring, and the second player to be booked is Sandy Clark for Rangers after Mark Reid earlier on for Celtic. Now Provan. Russell for Rangers. Here's Davy Cooper. took his eye off the ball for a second, I think looking for Mark Reid. Clark's lay off to Cooper, he was taken late by McAdam, the referee allowing the advantage. And Rangers looking for a free kick as Russell goes tumbling. Really, referee Bob Valentine, you need about 6 pairs of eyes at the moment to see everything that's going on in the field. McCoist for the tackle to give Celtic the throw. Here's McGarvey lofting it across. The only man there was McClair, but he was too near the near post, and Nichols' interception giving Celtic the throw again. Reid wants to leave it to Tommy Barnes. Wonder if McGarvey will be the target again. He seems to be the target for his tight throw-in near the corner flank. Here's Murdo McLeod. Roy Aitken wants it inside. McCoist is penalised for the challenge. Celtic substitutes are Graham Sinclair and Jim Melrose, warming up in case they're required before the interval. Short one, McLeod to Barnes, back to Murdo McLeod. Well covered by McCoy, but firmly struck by Murdo McLeod. So it started from the short free kick. McLeod to Barnes, McLeod making a position for the return pass. A hit with lots of power, but McCloy in good position. Adams header, here's McClair. Now Reid. Barnes making a good run forward. Taken late by McClelland. And both sets of players committing themselves to tackles in determined fashion. That's why we're seeing so many free kicks. But neither side has been able to engineer anything so far from these situations. Let's see if Celtic can create something. Barnes flights in the outswinger. Patterson heading it away. Here's Murdo McLeod. Interception from Nicholl. John McDonald was the only Rangers player up. They're now trying to get support for him, but McStay picks it up for Celtic. Fine pass. Brian McClair. And once again, Raleigh Dawson was committed, and although the ball was going behind in any event, he certainly brought down McClair. And Dawson now getting a lecture from the referee out of your picture as the free kick is anticipated by the Celtic central defenders. They've moved up. But Provan will take it. McGarvey! And he certainly wasn't picked up well enough. That was a good shooting chance for Frank McGarvey, and he wasn't far away. It got a deflection, in fact, into the side netting. And you'll see the room McGarvey had from this cross from Davy Provan. He peeled off from the defence. Was concentrating on the big men. And that was very close indeed. So now Provan has a chance with an in-swinger this time. McCloy coming for it, beating it out, not too decisively. McAdam is still up there for Celtic. Now McClair. McGarvey. Spotted early by Craig Patterson, made a good tackle. McGarvey now beginning to show his own elusive qualities inside the Rangers box. Celtic building up some concerted pressure on the Rangers defence. Tommy Barnes will take this one, in swinging with the left foot. McCoy taking no chances at all. And Rangers have every player inside the box except John McDonald inside the centre circle. For a 10-man defence, coping with this onslaught from Celtic. Played in by Provan. Paul McStay is there. Chance for Celtic. Roy Aitken looking for a penalty kick for handball. Aitken again. And not accurate enough on that left foot. But Rangers living dangerously, but they have survived. I'll see the activity here as McStay getting a good header. He's beaten out as far as Aitken. His shot came off Craig Patterson. Back in again. Aitken a fine shooting chance and glazed it wide.
Yeah, the game has certainly, over the last 5 minutes or so, Jock, the game has definitely swung Celtic's way. They haven't played all that attractive football and creative football, but by the picture of the pressure, they're starting to create chances in the Rangers' end. Rangers' defensive marking at times is very, very, very slack indeed. And both Frank McGarvey and Roy Aitken getting shots in very vulnerable positions. Indeed, I felt that Roy Aitken's last shot could have been better, could have been on the target.
The treatment for Craig Patterson, causing that particular hold-up. McAdam's header forward. Tackle from McStay. Run from McAdam. Here's Jimmy Nicholl. McGrain heading that wide, but only as far as McPherson. McLeod a bit reckless with the challenge. And certainly Bob Valentine's positioning as referee has been immaculate. He's stayed very close to the play indeed, as befits the man with the reputation of being one of the fittest referees in Europe. Cooper's free kick, looping the ball in. Here's Barnes. Celtic defence racing out, but the Rangers players came with them to stay onside. Once again, Rangers funneling back to defensive positions as Aitken comes forward for Celtic. Much too long for Brian McClair. McStay again showing his ability in the air, and then Provan his control with the right foot. McClellan being pressurised by McClair. That was enough to get possession for Celtic. There's McStay, now McLeod. McGrain on the right. McClellan's tackle. Here's Morgan McLeod. McCoy's challenging him. Patterson got his head to it, but again, pressure stays on the Rangers defence. Another corner kick. Brian Scott out of the Celtic dugout. Physiotherapist. There's Roy Aitken again, joins the Celtic attack, along with Tom McAdam. Now can all this Celtic pressure pay off? McCloy in trouble, just beyond McStay. Davy Cooper holding off challenge from McStay. Here's McPherson. Space for Russell on the right. Now McDonald, he's offside. Flag up instantly. The Rangers for the moment being reduced to these breakaways from defensive positions. Celtic pile on the pressure to get the opening goal before half time. Tommy Barnes. So 5 minutes to half time, still no scoring. But the last 10 minutes or so have belonged entirely to Celtic. McGrain playing it forward. Patterson spotted that with the interception. The news from Wembley, exactly the same position there. Still no scoring between Liverpool and Everton. Bit of leaning by Provan on Ali Dawson, giving Rangers the free kick. Dawson with the free kick for Rangers. Header out by McAdam. Cooper pushed by McGrain. Referee Bob Valentine waving back Davy Provan. Davy Cooper waiting for Patterson and McClellan to arrive. There's McClellan! Well, that was a great chance for the Rangers captain. He knows it very well indeed. That really was the pace of the free kick, as I think we'll see from the replay from Davy Cooper, which caught out the Celtic defence. McClellan stole in there, got his head to it, but didn't get enough on it to beat Pat Bonner.
It's the first real chance that Rangers have created since that bright start they made, Jock, and to me they look like a team at the moment that's lost a little bit of belief and a little bit of commitment they had earlier, and Celtic have grabbed hold of the game. Disappointing thing for me is that we haven't seen a whole lot of creative play from Celtic, and I think they're very capable of that, but as yet they haven't really got on top of the game to such an extent that they're starting to tear holes in Rangers' back four.
Jimmy Nicholl looking for Sandy Clark. There's Russell. There's Cooper behind him. Mark Reid doing well for Celtic. Here's Jimmy Nicholl. Determined play on the part of both players, Nicholl and McLeod. Patterson has enough pace. Ball coming off his left shin. Took a knock in the process as McGarvey applied pressure, which has been penalised. In fact, it's a free kick to Rangers. McGarvey catching Patterson in the back as he in the act of the pass back. John McDonald. Now Cooper. Sandy Clark called for it. He's got a great chance now. Posting his way forward, and that'll be a goal kick, I think, yes. He ran out of space and he took on McStay and McGrain. Well, Sandy Clark called for this pass from Davy Cooper. Very accurately played across. Beyond the defence. There was McStay with the first challenge. Then McGrain came in, and the ball breaking off Sandy Clark for the goal kick. Now McGrain for Celtic. The loose balls tend to fall now to Celtic players. That wasn't the case in the opening quarter of an hour, but Patterson has certainly changed in that regard as the first half is worn on. Here's Robert Russell, now Cooper. Looking for McDonald. Now Russell again into the final minute of the first half. Might be some stoppage time, some injuries. Holding play up a couple of times with Davy Cooper. Russell has taken up good position. Stepping inside, Bonner McLeod, and a penalty kick has been given. A penalty kick to Rangers. Right on the stroke of half time. Referee Bob Valentine once again in the ideal position to assess that. We'll see it again from the replay. Cooper playing a good ball in towards Russell. The challenge came in from Bonner McLeod, and that looks a penalty kick to me. Now a great opportunity for Rangers. Robert Pritz is a regular kicker, he's not in the field, but Ali McCoist will take it. He scored once already this season out of one attempt. McCoist against Bonner. Perfectly stopped away by Ali McCoist, and Rangers take the lead. Ali McCoist, the Rangers top scorer with his 17th goal of the season. And the Celtic protest continue towards the referee. It is again, you won't see penalty kicks taken better than this. McCoist sending Bonner the wrong way and lifting the Rangers supporters far to our left. Now into injury time in the first half. What a dramatic end to the first half. Celtic, after some concerted pressure building up over a quarter of an hour period, find themselves facing the interval a goal behind. Here's Paul McStay. McGarvey back towards McLeod. The shot goes wide. Goal kick to Rangers.
Yeah, it's a terrible time to lose a goal, obviously, for Celtic, Jock, but really at that time they were a bit slack at the back, and it's interesting to note that when Bobby Russell gets himself involved in the game, he tends to have a dramatic effect on it, and I'll be quite honest with you. Had it been my team, I would have been looking for a penalty there.
The referee Bob Valentine brings a hectic first half to an end. There's the scoreline: Rangers 1, Celtic 0. The scorer was Ari McCoist in the penalty spot. There's going to be some tremendous action after the interval. But we'll go to the break now, and when you rejoin us, Arthur Montford will be with Derek Thompson in the studio. Join us in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back to Scott Sport.